Hi. Today I want to talk to you about how gratitude can help you heal and let go in moments of challenges, difficulties, shocks, and in those times in our life that nothing makes sense and we feel very distraught and lost. So, no matter where you are in your life, whether you are experiencing one of those moments right now, or you may actually at some point soon arrive in the moment when you feel lost, distraught, and not quite sure what to do next, I want to share with you a powerful tool that has helped me many times. In fact, it has helped me just a few days ago in the moments of sadness, fear, and anger. So let me first share with you some of my thoughts about being upset and disappointed. Quite often when we have situations in our life that don't go our way, we think that things should be different, that people should be different, that outcomes should be different. We fight with reality and it's like we're standing by the door and we shake it because we don't have the right key. And we think that if we pull it and push it and kick it, then we can go through and things will get better. Well, my experience is that it's nothing further from the truth, that when the door doesn't open, we need to step back. We need to take time to rest, to rethink, and to go back in our heart and actually go back into the place of gratitude. So it's easy to be grateful for things when things are going well, when things are fantastic with our health, with our relationships, with money, and things are flowing with grace and ease, and we are at the right place at the right time. But how can gratitude come in handy when things are not going right, when things are seemingly falling apart and breaking apart? And can we be grateful in those moments? Well, surprisingly, this is the key to the fastest and the easiest way of finding some sense, peace, serenity, and healing. But in order to arrive there, we need to remember one thing. Now, this is my belief, you may actually disagree with this, that everything that ever happens to us, at any time, it is always there for our highest good. That our soul has chosen to go through this, to experience this. And if we fight it and we push it and we resist it or we ignore it, then there is pain. If we embrace it and accept it as much as we can, and even find space in our heart to be grateful in advance before we found the reason why it's happening, then everything shifts much faster. So breathing, resting, embracing, allowing things to be the way they are just for now, and being curious. What if this situation that is so challenging, what if the situation that is happening right now, that I hate, that I resist, that is driving me crazy, what if the situation is exactly what I need to go through, to go to my next level of expansion, to shift, to heal, to break through, to learn something new that my soul assigned for me to learn because I can't go to the next level. So just a few days ago, someone in my family decided on a medical procedure that I do not support. And I went through moments of hell, distress, upset, because after all, I've spent 20 years working with people with cancer and I know exactly what needs to be done. But that attitude of that I know better, that they should follow my instructions, have only created distress in my heart and distress in the other person, distress in my whole family. So shaking that door, banging on the door, and not seeing the beauty and the gift in it has cost me a lot of upset. Now I'm sharing this with you because sooner or later you will come across a situation where you think that you can change it by pulling that door, by banging on the door, by pushing, stretching, striving. And the thing that actually helps the most right now in that situation is taking a deep breath and asking, what if what's happening right now is not happening to me, but for me? And what if there is a gift if I only started feeling grateful in advance? So, sometimes we see that things that have gone wrong, later on we see that they were the biggest blessings. Like someone has shared with me a story that the whole group of friends were going skiing, and she basically broke her leg before going skiing. And she was so upset and she was so disappointed and she swore at God. And she said, bloody hell, everybody's having fun. It's winter, everybody's going away and I have to go to hospital. And it was broken in a really bad way. And the doctor who was actually setting her bones, who helped her to put the cast on and who basically took care of her, fell in love with her and she fell in love with him and they ended up being together. So if she didn't break her leg, if she didn't actually gone to that hospital, she would have never met him. She would have never had the connection and the experience of the most amazing love. So what if those moments when things are going wrong, they're actually turning around to go well again, but not in our sort of pushy way, not in our sort of controlling, egocentric way, but in a divine way. So, how about if we could be grateful in advance for what this thing is bringing to us and for us, and how it's transforming us? So in my case, I realized that for me, one of the greatest gifts in the situation where I knew what to do, where I knew what the person should do and what decisions they should make. What about if in that situation the greatest gift and the greatest blessing that now I am grateful for was actually to let go, to actually learn how to respect someone else's decision, even though it's a different decision to mine. And it was a hugely humbling experience where the outcome of it was that it brought us closer together, that it learned, that it taught me how to embrace things even more, that it taught me how I'm not always right, even though logically it makes sense to follow my instructions or my ideas, but on a greater level, things take their path and we never know what's best for the other person. So that's why I would love you to think about something that is challenging you right now in this moment. And could you actually write some things down that are actually good about that? What if this is actually positive? What if there is a benefit in this situation? What could it be? Let me give you another example. So in 20 years of working with cancer patients, I often ask them in these therapeutic sessions that we had together, can you please think about what is the biggest blessing in your illness? Now, some people got angry, some people thought about it, and the people who answered, wow, there is a lot good about it, and they started counting their blessings and seeing the positive side in the challenging situation, they tended to recover much faster because they had more energy to deal with. They had more energy that they could access, they could play with, because nothing was stopping them from accessing all the energy. So instead of wasting it on fighting, judging, being down and pushing things away, they had more energy to embrace, to love, to learn, to grow. So the typical answer of most people who have been challenged with cancer, which is a terrible illness, was if I had to put my finger on the biggest gift that has happened in that situation, the biggest gift in illness was that I had to put myself first, that I had to put on the side my work, my family, my children, my friends, being a rescuer, being a good girl, the yes girl, and I put myself first, and I've asked myself, what do I want? What is it that matters to me? What is it that I want? And I've never gave myself time, permission, and space to do so. And often when then the people applied that technique to their life and they said, okay, so if this is the gift, if this is the blessing that I'm grateful for right now, what would happen if I actually do it? And in most cases, if they actually did that, amazing blessings have happened to them, sometimes in shape of healing, sometimes in transformation, emotional, spiritual transformation for them, but also for the whole family. So expect miracles to happen in your life when you start feeling grateful for your challenges. So maybe, I know it's crazy that I'm going to say now, but what if something happens and before you even understand what is the silver lining behind the cloud, what is the gift in this, before you even fully understand, because sometimes it may take days, weeks, months, or years, what if you can already say now, thank you. I don't fully understand it, but thank you. Thank you for this. Because sooner or later, the full glory, the blessings, the understandings will come forward, and I'll be able to relax and fully accept it. But what if I could accept it a little bit right now? What if this is happening not to me but for me? That if I was more available with my acceptance, with my peace, with my love, and embrace it just the way it is in this moment, it will help me to let go of the pain, of the struggle, of the confusion and not knowing what to do next. So this is very much alive in me right now. I'm doing this right now as I'm speaking to you. I'm going through this process, but I have to say that by accepting what's happening and embracing and giving the energy of gratitude without knowing what will happen next week, next month, or next year to the person who's going through this challenging time, and I love them. So what if without even knowing, I can give more gift, more blessings, more thanks for this? Well, I know that it's already changing the way I think about it and creating space for healing in the family, healing for the person, and healing most importantly for myself. Because after all, our deepest and greatest responsibility is to our health, is to our well-being, it's for our happiness in this very moment, not next year when something gets better or someone gets healed or when I get healed, but it is in this very moment. So I highly encourage you from the bottom of my heart that if at some point in the future you find yourself challenged with something unexpected, after embracing the shock, the upset, the anger, which is very important not to push away, but fully embrace it and feel it. As soon as you can, ask yourself, what if there is something good about it? What is the blessing, the hidden blessing? And as you accept, embrace, and lean into it, and come forward rather than fighting with it, you'll be surprised how many transformations, gifts, and wealth of healing it's awaiting you and all the people around you. So be grateful for all the things that you have received that were amazing. Be grateful for all the things that you're receiving right now, even if they are challenging. And be grateful for everything that is coming your way in the future, good or bad. Because at the end of the day, if we look at things correctly and we see gift in everything that comes to us and we say thank you, life can only be good. Life can only be filled with surprises, expansion, and miracles. Thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing this video maybe with someone who's having a challenging time. Thank you for being here with me. Lots of love.